episode, what is it today? Oh, 24...
Mike's Daily Podcast.
2473. Hello, it's Mike Matthews. It's the podcast that's daily. I've been doing this a while.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Because it brings a smile. And I hope you have a good day and a good while with me. Mike Matthews is my name. I see over here some iced tea. No, it's coffee. That's right. I'm gonna drink this up. Because I had a long night watching episodes of Vera.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Don't know what that is, look it up. Hey, it is somewhere in Podcastro Valley 10, the last place on earth.
Mike's
bringing you this podcast
Daily
today.
Podcast.
And I feel like there's lots to get to.
Yeah!
And a myriad of thoughts and patterns and such to bring up on this podcast. And we will bring you another new tunes feud at the end that you can vote on at 336mm daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM is in Mike Matthews Daily isn't what this podcast tries to be and doesn't always get away with it. I have had a tremendous response. Tremendous. It's tremendous in maybe not the way that you think it's tremendous. It's just tremendous. So, what is happening today? I had also one of those days where you try and get caught up on everything. There's stuff that doesn't get done, like the stuff, the laundry. Let's say maybe you didn't do the laundry, or you did do the laundry, but it's just waiting to be put away, and you take forever with that. It just sits there in a pile. But you don't really think about it because, hey, if you need something, you just grab it from the pile. And then it all cascades everywhere and all the clothes. Speaking of cascading and water and whatnot, why, now they're talking about with the climate change.
And here's today's podcast picture.
That perhaps the whole thing with we shouldn't worry so much about droughts, which we're getting a lot of, but we should be worrying about floods, big floods happening. And the podcast picture today, so it's not one thing, it's another. It's you get shake and bake here, and we shake with the earthquakes, we get baked with the hot weather and the fires. I know, late great Basil the Boxer. It's ridiculous. But we persevere, don't we? Or we purse our ears. One of those two. We try and persevere. The late great Basil the Boxer. Featured on every podcast. That's right. Amongst all these wonderful people here, I think I will feature a podcast picture from walking around last week in downtown Oakland. I meandered about and took some interesting pictures. You can see one of those at MikesDailyPodcast.com. A nice time to go to downtown Oakland is in the morning. There are lots of breakfast places I discovered. Or perhaps lunch. But yes, splendid. Okay. I think we'll go with one of those. The last podcast picture was of the late great Basil the Boxer, which you can see at MikesDailyPodcast.com. So yes, this discussion here, I've been, by the way, spending the past 5 minutes trying to open my Twitter account. I do not have it on my phone. I do not believe in just any willy-nilly downloading apps. When people say, Mike, oh, you got to get this app. Put this app on your phone. Download it right now in front of me. I'm like, you back off. I'm going to do my due diligence and thoroughly vet and research that app you're trying to push on me, because I have no knowledge other than your word for it about anything about that app. It could be stealing my information. It could be putting a virus on my phone. I don't need it. But experts warn that California is going to have a disaster larger than any in the world. It's not an earthquake. Massive California floods as the earth warms. A mega flood one that could make Los Angeles into a swamp and displace millions and cause historic damage. Part of it being that we have a huge agriculture community. We grow something like a fourth of all the food in the world. So mega floods are not good for us. An extreme month-long storm could bring feet, something more than 100 inches to hundreds of miles in California. And we don't drain very well. Right now they're worried in England because they've been having a drought for a while. Now they're starting to get rain and a bunch of rain. And the ground isn't ready for it. So they're going to flood if they haven't already. I heard a guy today, a conservative fellow, say, climate change, yeah, it doesn't exist. I deny climate change. And I'll tell you the main reason why I deny it. It's because when people on the left, liberals, or the left, they actually they love to say that, the left. It's the left. So when the left talks about climate change, they never tell us what the climate is going to change into. Yes, that was his argument. They don't tell us what the climate is going to change into. I don't know. What do you think the left is saying the climate's going to change into? A puppy? No, it's going to change into something bad. That's what it means. But I guess the brain capacity of this guy, he's so full of hate. And it's funny because people, when they complain about this, the left, the right, the left, the right, they're always saying, oh, they're full of hate. They say that about the left, too. They're full of hate. They hate whatever it is, Caucasians, rich people, that kind of thing. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. But the question is, where is the love? Yes. Choose which version of the song I'm talking about. Black Eyed Peas or the other one. And that is the question. Where is the love? Now, if you are a Christian, and quite possibly you are on the right, you're conservative, you're a Republican maybe, you know God talked a lot about love. Well, Jesus talked a lot about love. And there are many Bible verses that have to do with love. And if you are not a Christian, if you're a complete atheist, at least it behooves you to at least read a Bible verse now and then. It'll make your heart a little less hard and callous. Not to say that all atheists are hard and callous, but I've known some atheists in my life, and actually I dated an atheist for a while, right out of college. She converted me to an atheist for about half a second, but I got out of that. And you know what? It's just, whatever you believe, you believe. Even when you don't believe in anything, that's a belief. Because you're taking a stand. Whether it's a stand about not standing, you've made a stand. You've made a decision. There is no fear in love. Perfect love casts out fear. There you go. One of the verses from the gospel, according to John. John 4, verse 18. Another one says, love does no harm to a neighbor. Love nourishes and cherishes the one loved. Love isn't just words, it is actions of self-sacrifice and care for those in need. That from Romans, Ephesians, and John, again, respectively. So, there you go. What is that all about? How did I get from a mega flood to love? That's what we need, is mega love, not mega floods. Okay. Oh yeah, climate change and all that. Well, I don't know if that is something. Let's see, USA Today wrote about that. Maybe USA Today was trying to sell papers. Oh, wait, they don't sell papers anymore. Do they have papers? Maybe if you stay at a hotel, they've got those. But they're trying to get eyeballs, so they come up with a very, very, Armageddon-ish type of headline. Here's the question that I have, and it's very, very sad Anne Heche died. And we talked a little about her on a previous podcast. But here's the big question that my lovely lady friend asked. What about the house she crashed into? What about the people in that house? Are they okay? The woman whose Mar Vista home caught fire after Anne Heche crashed her car into it at the beginning of this month has spoken out about the actor's death. Lynn Michelle, who had been renting and living in the house on Walgrove Avenue with her 3 pets. She said she's sending love to everyone involved in the accident. Let's see. Last week, the owners of the Mar Vista residence launched a GoFundMe campaign for Michelle that has received more than $170,000 in donations. Homeowners Jenny and John said in the fundraiser description that Michelle and her pets, quote, very narrowly escaped physical harm, and that the vast majority of her belongings were destroyed along with the house in the blaze. Michelle said, I'm still recovering and trying to figure out up from down, but I did want to send a huge thank you to everyone from all over the world for the overwhelming amount of love and compassion and generosity and kindness that the people have shown over the past weeks. It's obviously been the most insane, traumatic time. Eventually, I'll try to get back to everybody and read everybody's comments, but thank you, everybody, from the bottom of my heart. It's really, truly overwhelming. You guys have really impacted my life in a very profound way.
Burger Master.
So, there you go. That's what, that was a big question, because the media wasn't covering that at all for a while. It was just all Anne Heche. But what about the house she was, did anybody get hurt? That was the other question. And sadly, was probably hurt the most, but no longer with us, Anne Heche. An actor who is still with us, Tom Holland, who plays the latest incarnation of Spider-Man, has revealed he is stepping back from social media. Oh, by the way, that last article was from Yahoo, MSN.com. But Tom Holland, also this article from MSN, he's stepping back from social media for the sake of his mental health. Though he says he's deleted the app. What app is he on? Who cares? They're all evil. Tom Holland, who's 26, made a brief return to Instagram over the weekend. Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I will not ever be on, what's that one? TikTok. I will be on True Social before I'm on TikTok. No, seriously, I'm really thinking about being on True Social as a sort of how would I put this? It's a tribute to my mom. My mom loved Trump, even though she basically never voted, but she would have voted for him. She put a Trump sign in her front yard both times that he ran. And everybody on her street loved Trump too. So they thought my mom was cool because of that. And I once talked to Sebastian Gorka, the conservative talk show host, and told him, hey, my mom had a Trump sign on her front lawn. And he told me to thank her. So I'm thinking, just to see what True Social is all about, I'm fascinated. Because here's why I'm very much okay with that. And that is all these conservatives that complain about big tech. I heard one guy blaming the monkey virus, the monkeypox, the monkey stuff on big tech. Because they said that, and he was a total millennial. He did the millennial right right? After every sentence, he would say, right? And it just, right? Have you not ever listened to yourself and maybe did a little self-critique? I'm using right a little too much.
Right? God.
Wow. So this guy on a conservative talk station, and he said he was well-spoken other than that. If he could just drop the right at the end of every sentence, he'd be great. But he is on the right. And he said that it was big tech's fault, that there really is not as big a deal with monkey pox, COVID, and everything else, that they blew it out of proportion because they make money off of it. Google makes money, Amazon and Apple, they all make money off of COVID. I guess because you're buying things, you're getting things shipped by Amazon, you're doing searches for things that you're going to have sent by Amazon, and Apple, maybe you're buying a lot of Apple products because you're working from home, whatever, cafe anyway. I don't use Google, I Bing it. I do the Bing. And even though it's probably not as good as Google, I get points. That's what's cool about that. But he has decided, Tom Holland, I'm taking a break from social media, he says, for my mental health, because I find Instagram and Twitter to be overstimulating, to be overwhelming. Wow, it's amazing he didn't throw TikTok in there, because that's completely what TikTok is all about. I get caught up and I spiral when I read things about me online, and ultimately it's very detrimental to my mental state. Detrimental to my mental state. Did he intend to do that? I don't know. So I decided to take a step back and delete the app. Good job. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcaster Valley, look who's here. Hello, Michael Masters, Madame Rootabega. Yes, it's very fascinating about that one. Churros. Churros? Churros. Churros. Oh, yes, I saw that Sonic commercial today. Yes, churros. A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of sugar, and happiness is then provided. Do you like apps? Yes. Do you like cinnamon apples? Yes. Do you like Cheerios? No. Because you like churros? Yes. Okay. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Dude.
Mike, we can't wait to hear who you're gonna play there on the New Tunes Feud Day.
Yeah, New Tunes Feud. Dude. All right. I am looking now through the submissions. It's so funny. Somebody thought that I was the Mike Matthews from Muscle for Life. The Mike Matthews guy, who used to be Michael Matthews. And then he changed it to Mike Matthews. And I was Mike Matthews, so people wouldn't confuse me with him, which they were pretty easily unconfusable. Because he is ripped and muscly, and I am not. But, okay. Here we go. Here's our first band to test out for you. This is a band by the name of Noiseheads. Okay, so do you like Noiseheads? Here we go. All right, that's all I can play because I don't want to get dinged. Ding! Don't want to get dinged by the YouTube. Okay, so that is Sorry by the band called Noiseheads. They sent that to me. And then, here we go, somebody named Danny Echo. Ooh, I like that name. Danny Echo. And he has a song called Zeros and Ones. Okay, let's listen to a little bit of that. All right, what'd you think? Which one did you like better? Noiseheads or Zeros and O's? Or is it Danny Echo? Oh, maybe Danny Echo is in the band Zeros and O's. Okay. Logging into... Oh, no, it's Danny Echo. That's the name of his song, Zeros and Echoes. Okay, so what do you think? Danny Echo or Noiseheads? Let me know. 656... What is that number that's popping into my head? Is that the old KH number? 656-5429 or something like that? However you... 656-KH was the number. Because I did the New Country Preview, and then later we called it KH's Fish Bait, Great or Fish Bait at 8. And people would call in and vote on the country songs. But that's some rock for you. So anyway, Cafe Anyway is the New Tunes Feud. Which one did you like better? Noiseheads or Danny Echo? And yes, this has been an echo because I've said the same thing over and over again, but that's okay because I'm wrapping it up, everybody. The phone number is, by the way, 336 Daily. That's 3 plus 3 equals 6. As in Mike Matthews, Daily as in what this podcast is. Or you can email me with more on that. A for Ram.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.